There goes the bell. That only means one thing. It's time for the recess table.
So good.
It's episode 4. We're going to call this the Shawn for a very good reason. But before we get into that, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Stan C. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at Stan947.
This is Jandrick Lim at JLimberlake.
This is Dustin. You can follow me at Dustin Dust.
This is Anton Arellano, biggest fan of the undefeated, or should I say winless, Philadelphia 76ers. Follow me at Arellanoton.
Right, there's a reason why we're calling this the Shawn, and it's because it's episode 4. We're going to talk about number 4s, jersey number 4s, 4th overall picks, and more importantly, mga what if. And I think the two biggest Shawns that we can think of when we think about all those things I just mentioned are Shawn Kemp and Shawn Livingston.
Akala ko si Big Sean.
Man.
No, not Big Sean. Big Sean's masaya na siya kay Ariana Grande. So let's leave them alone. Let's talk about Shawn Kemp first of all. Kasi I think when you say what if, you really think about Shawn Kemp and how he went from being the Rain Man to just being a fat, drugged up jailblazer.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people don't even know that the Rain Man is basically out of high school. Because he went to college but actually didn't play college ball. So his last competitive, basketball was against high schoolers. And then he was drafted into the NBA.
And he had such a good run as a Sonic. Like, he was an MVP candidate. He led the Sonics alongside Gary Payton, made it to the finals. Pero it was that run shortly after that finals that eventually led to him just losing the drive to become a force of nature.
He got fat during that lockout year, so I'm not so sure where he went right after. He went
Cleveland.
back to. He went back when he got fat. He still continued with Seattle. Then he got.
Actually, he was doing somewhat well when he was fat. Then after that, he averaged around 12 points per game.
No. He was actually averaging a career high.
See? Yeah.
When nung starting weight problems, he was around 275 when he checked into training camp with the Cavs right after that lockout season. And then he ended up averaging mga 19, 20 points a game. So medyo okay pa siya that one
okay
year.
pa nga. Yeah.
Right, and then it was when he moved to Portland when the troubles really started happening kasi he was battling cocaine abuse for one.
Yeah.
Among his weight problems pa. And it's funny na yung coke problems dogged Shawn Kemp in the early 2000s when the NBA tried to crack down on that shit in the 70s and in the 80s. So I don't know. I don't know kung paano nakalusot si Shawn Kemp at a time like that.
Well, I don't know, but then with Shawn Kemp, my biggest what if isn't even him as a player. My biggest what if is the trade they call the trade that never happened. I don't know if a lot of fans are familiar about this, but back in '94, there was a draft that could have happened between the Chicago Bulls and the Seattle Supersonics, where on draft night, the Chicago Bulls and the Supersonics would have traded their draft picks along with Scottie Pippen for Shawn Kemp and Ricky Pierce.
Wow.
Imagine if that happened. That trade was on the table already, just that it never pushed through. That was the year that Jordan wasn't even the Bull anymore, '94. Remember?
Wow. So they wanted to start over with Shawn Kemp.
Basically, Shawn Kemp, Ricky Pierce, and then the draft pick of the Sonics that year. How crazy would that have been? Because if Pippen wasn't with the Bulls anymore,
I don't think
Jordan would have come back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that is a huge what if. And could you imagine the ridiculous defense of Gary Payton and Scottie Pippen in Seattle? Who is going to get through the half-court line?
Dude, that 96 championship could have been Seattle's.
Yes.
Could have been
Yes.
Seattle's.
Yeah, true.
Could have been Seattle's, diba? So, without Jordan coming back in 94, 95, that three-peat wouldn't have happened. Which could have opened the door for a bunch of other teams. Like, for one, the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. Karl Malone will have his ring as a superstar.
That's true. Kasi Malone and Stockton, diba, they retired without a
Yeah.
ring. So, it could have happened. Ano pa ba? What if Shawn Kemp actually didn't bring about the Jailblazers era? Kasi people pointed at Shawn Kemp as one of the catalysts for that
scapegoats,
Jailblazers
man.
era.
Scapegoats.
No pun intended. Shawn Kemp pointed kasi everyone is familiar with that dunk where he just jumps over this was it Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. I remember this.
And just started pointing at the guys. See, I miss that NBA where people could just trash talk.
Yeah, taunt a little
Intimidate,
bit.
taunt.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
I miss that because watching the NFL. The NFL is more strict now with taunting and unsportsmanlike behavior, but it's still there. And in the NBA, you get a technical just by saying shit. You know, it's stupid.
I don't know, siguro okay lang naman when we're gonna digress just a little bit and talk about how in the current era of the NBA you can't talk trash. It's okay in the sense that you see yung big picture na they want to look after the image, they want to look after the NBA brand and try to keep it as professional as possible and bring it away from yung stereotypical
Thugs.
ghetto
Yeah,
image.
ghetto.
Yep.
So that's something I understand. Pero gets ko rin yung counterpoint na it's just so much fun because sports is all about machismo. It's about talking trash
Yeah, dude.
and getting in your opponent's face, getting inside their head. So where do you draw the line and where do you toe that line?
And at times it's a lot of emotion that's involved in the game because if at the heat of the moment and you felt like a call didn't go your way, obviously you'd react. in a
Yeah, you just
certain-
can't help but put out your emotions.
So I don't think that the NBA should be hampering it too much because the players are just keeping it real. I mean, if you were in their situation, I'm sure you'd react as well. That quote unquote violently as well.
Oh, speaking of violent reactions and what ifs, what if the Malice at the Palace never happened?
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
If the Malice at the Palace never happened, Ron Artest would still be in the NBA today.
Jermaine O'Neal would have still been really good all
Yes,
those years. 'Cause I
definitely.
think after the Malice in the Palace, I don't think he's ever had like a productive season anymore. After that power slide punch he threw at that fan. I love
Meron
that
pa
punch,
rin.
by
Like
the
he
way.
still had like one or two
I think
good years in
one
Indiana.
year after that he
Right.
was still good, but after that he got injured and it was all downfall from there.
Right.
Because the thing about Jermaine O'Neal, if we're gonna put his career in perspective, is I think injuries played a bigger factor than the Malice at the Palace. Like
That's
hindi
true.
siya masyadong na-affect, unlike say Stephen Jackson
Stephen Jackson was the most affected for me.
or David Harrison, because people forget David Harrison now, but at the time he was like Indiana's prized rookie because he
Yeah.
was one of their few first-round picks
Yeah.
who they actually got to keep. And if he didn't get involved in the Malice at the Palace, who would have known, or who knows what would have happened to David Harrison?
I don't know. Ask the Pacer fan.
Yeah. Actually, David Harrison had a lot of potential. He was a 7 foot, 240-pound monster. So he could have been the perfect partner for Jermaine, but we'll never know.
Ako yung pinaka what if ko dyan sa Malice in the Palace is if it never happened, then we would have never seen what's his face, Anthony Carter drop 40 points. Anthony Carter yun, diba?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
We would have never seen a 40-point performance.
Kasi sobrang nag-gut yung Pacers nun eh. They
Yeah.
lost 4 players to suspension, so they really needed to dig
When-
down deep into their bench.
When
Yeah.
did you guys trade for Mike Dunleavy and
That was
Troy Murphy?
mga 2 years after the
After.
Malice.
That was a
yeah.
Stephen Jackson trade,
Yep.
diba?
Yeah.
I don't
Al
even
Harrington
remember
as well.
Mike Dunleavy
But
playing
because
for
of the
Pacers.
Malice, James Jones became a
Oh
superstar.
yeah, James Jones. Yeah, James Jones. Tama. The project of Reggie Miller.
Yeah, yeah.
Tama.
Brody J.
Brody J. I forgot about that.
And
guy.
look at James Jones now, 2-time NBA champion.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. See, a lot of
Keep
ano eh.
getting
Butterfly-
them checks, man.
Butterfly effect, yeah, butterfly
Butterfly
effect. Yeah, but what about Sean Livingston?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks
The
for
other
bringing up
Sean.
Sean.
The
Yeah.
The other
Sean.
Sean.
The thing about Sean Livingston was he was the 4th overall pick, about 2004 NBA draft, man.
Hence episode 4.
Projected as the next Magic
Yep.
Johnson.
He was a
Or
6'6"
Penny
point
Hardaway.
guard. Still is a 6'6" point guard, but at the time he was explosive and he had good playmaking skills. And they looked to him as probably the second coming of like the Clippers, or someone to really just raise the profile of the LA Clippers, which is what they're looking to do now. If Sean Livingston didn't get injured, I don't think that they would. I don't think it would necessitate having to wait for Blake Griffin and Chris Paul to actually raise the profile of the Clippers.
Sayang yung Clipper team na yan. Didn't they have sila Lamar Odom?
Lamar,
Elton Brand?
Elton.
Was Andre Miller still there?
No, he wasn't there.
So what was it? Darius Miles?
Q
Quentin
Rich.
Richardson?
Chris Kaman.
Chris Kaman.
Michael Olowokandi?
Yes.
Or was he with the Wolves na by
No,
then?
he was with the Wolves na by then.
Oh.
Kasi that 2006 Clipper run was the at the time
Kailan
yun lang
sila
yung-
ng playoffs? Was that the one?
yeah 2006.
With Mobley.
Yes.
Wait,
Yun.
so was Cassell there? No?
I think he was there already.
Yeah, yun na nga eh. That's sobrang sayang. Isipin mo if he was actually doing well. Kasi obviously his injury made him, derailed him for a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
To actually recover from that. And that deep playoff run they were
Against
semis
Phoenix.
right? They just needed one more game eh, di ba?
Yeah.
One more game.
Game 7.
And everybody was rooting for the Clippers kasi at the time underdog na sila eh. Kasi diba pag sinabi mo ngayon LA Clippers, di na sila underdog eh because they've already proven that they can hang with the big boys in the
Yeah.
West.
They still suck though.
Well, they suck right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Blake
They suck
Griffin's
right
shot sucks.
I have no idea how someone shoots a wide open jumper but then lands like to his left.
It's weird kasi if I don't know if you guys have seen yung shot chart na ginawa ni Kirk Goldsberry through Blake Griffin's game so far. He actually takes a bulk of his shots right now in the mid-range as opposed to last year where he shot over 55% of his field goal attempts inside of 8 feet. So siya yung pinaka-productive in the NBA within 8 feet. And then yung mid-range game niya, nag-flourish pa lang. Ngayon, binaligtad niya yung shot chart niya, which is kind of odd kasi diba, if it ain't broke,
Don't
why
fix
fix
it.
Yeah.
Ito, a question to the Celtic fan. Since it's Doc Rivers coaching the Clippers right now, I remember Kevin Garnett playing for the Celtics and him attempting a lot of mid-range jumpers. Do you think that's what they're trying to do with Blake Griffin?
I'm not so sure kasi magkaiba yung player types ni Griffin and Kevin Garnett. I mean, Kevin Garnett had to add to his post game. He had to add that finesse factor when he was getting older. Pero si Blake Griffin kaya pa niya magbully sa loob eh. So I don't know if they should be doing this early when they have a host of shooters to surround him with naman.
That's also true, but then at the same time, do you think it has anything to do with them trying to open up the lane for Chris Paul to drive and distribute?
Hey, that makes a lot of sense, especially since they, like I said kanina, they're trying to space things out, and you have a guy like Spencer Hosnaman that they can bring off the bench.
I hate that guy.
So if you put it in that context, I think it does make sense.
Right.
Pero I think in the larger scheme of things, Blake has to go back to what he's really best at, which is getting to the hoop and bullying guys down low.
Yes.
I'd like to add maybe the philosophy behind Blake Griffin taking more shots in the mid-range area is actually trying to preserve his body more.
Oh, that
Because
is.
he's
Right there.
been banging with several big...
Been banging with who? With who?
I mean, several, his body has been always beat up. He's been, like, parang how when Dwight Howard was in his prime being hacked and hammered. So I guess it's just
Actually,
to...
they have been playing rough against Blake Griffin, that's true.
So maybe that's why the reason. Pero sayang lang, I don't think that you should turn Blake Griffin into a corner 3-point shooter.
no.
I mean, come on, man.
That's not his game.
Kasi yun yung uso, di ba? Corner three. Like,
Yeah.
Amir Johnson was shooting corner threes
Yeah,
earlier.
Ibaka, diba?
Serge Ibaka had to learn to shoot the three. So everybody's...
Serge ka nasa gitna na eh. Can't shoot anywhere
Yeah.
now.
Everyone's
Amir.
trying to be a corner 3 guy if you're playing the power forward
Kanino
position.
nagsimula yan? And this is gonna bode well with our what if.
Chris Bosh.
Nah, dude. Nagsimula yan kay Amari Stoudemire in Phoenix. The year, what was it? Second year that Steve Nash, I think. They started making Amari Stoudemire shoot corner threes. And he's another what if guy, because what if he never got all those injuries, diba? I mean, we're seeing stat right now in New York, parang, what the hell is this stat?
Yeah. Just
And
a jump shooter lang.
diba? And then you go to YouTube and you check out stat wearing number 32, and he was just a monster.
He was a stud in
He
Phoenix.
was a monster. And I think medyo na-prove na that he doesn't necessarily need Steve Nash kasi when he went to New York before Melo came
Yeah,
along,
he was
he
doing
like
well,
he was
yeah,
an
he was
MVP
doing well.
candidate.
Felton and Amari.
He made Felton look good. I mean,
No, but
Felton-
Felton that year was in
Not
his defense.
fat. Yeah.
No, he was,
He was
a little
not-
bit
he
in
was fat
shape.
now.
But he got fatter eventually.
which, diba?
Since you mentioned Steve Nash, what if Steve Nash never left Dallas?
No,
do you think they would have
2004?
won?
I think they could have.
They
They
could
would have
have.
been MVPs. Neither of them would have been MVP, but I think they would have won pa rin.
Pero he's such a liability on defense.
Yes.
man.
I mean, you can't say that about Jason Kidd. I mean, Jason Kidd he's a big guard kasi. How tall is
Yeah.
Jason Kidd? 6'4"?
6'4". Nash is
Diba?
6'3". Pero mas bulky si Jason.
Yeah.
Exactly, diba? But I don't know. I mean, I love Steve Nash, but
You can't play the...
Sino yung center nila? Rafe Lafrance? I don't think...
Yeah, Ray.
Yeah,
Ray-
Ray! Sean Bradley!
wala na ba si Joan Howard nun?
No, wala.
No. He didn't play center for Dallas.
Yeah.
He came off the bench to back up Dirk.
Yeah.
Michael Finley rin.
Rafe
I-
LaFrance ngayon, the big... Parang, I remember they got him his 14 million contract for nothing lang.
Yeah.
They got... Was it the year after Nash? Did they get Dampier? Or was
Yeah,
it-
they got Eric Dampier right after Steve Nash left. That was 2004
And
kasi
then-
yun yung contract year ni Dampier when he
Oh,
averaged
yeah.
double-double.
They gave him
Consolation prize
11
din si
million
Jason
contract.
Terry.
Dude, Eric Dampier's original keep getting them checks, man.
Yeah.
One good
contract
year
year.
with the Warriors, biglang, here we go.
Si
big
Eric
money.
Dampier yung naging peg ni Jerome James.
Ayun,
Oh,
Jerome James,
exactly.
diba?
Jerome James also had that hindi nga one good year because Dampier averaged a double-double throughout 82 games. Jerome James had one series.
Yeah,
that
one series
Sacramento
against-
series.
Sacramento ba? Was it
was
with
against
Sacramento
Sacramento.
against... Yeah.
He had
Against sila
that
Bobby
one
Jackson.
series. And then, fucking hell, New York offers him a large contract.
Isaiah Thomas.
And overwrite, telling that, oh, we made a mistake, we're getting Eddie Curry. What? Stupid. Man, I say.
See ya, fantasy.
Since we're talking about that era of the NBA and we're watching the game right now, Minnesota, LA, and Kobe is owning. I think he's got like 12 points in the first quarter. I'll throw something out for you guys. What if Kobe and Shaq never had that whole disagreement and argument? How many championships do you think that ridiculous tandem? How many championships do you think they would have won?
I think they would have won at least another
Two more.
Right,
Another
so that's
two
like
more.
five,
Five.
dude. And then do you think Kobe would have won with Powell afterwards? Like, those are the things you factor in with these things. Kasi, I mean, Kobe and Shaq, it's the mere fact that Kobe and Shaq, that duo, that tandem, is even debatable with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Proves to
Definitely.
show how crazy that duo was. It's just that they never really got along. Sayang.
I don't
Sayang.
even think there's a duo right now that could replicate what they did.
I mean,
Shaq was so dominant.
Dominant.
I
Yeah,
mean,
30 points per game.
and Kobe was hitting his prime.
actually, bata pa si Kobe.
Bata
no?
pa siya.
No? 21, 22.
He only really hit his prime after that 04 finals.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oo, dun na siya eh. Yung
Yeah.
kalbong Kobe na.
Yeah.
Right? Afro
No,
Kobe.
Kalbong Kobe.
Afro gone.
Afro gun. Di na siya
Mature now.
Adidas.
Since you mentioned Pau Gasol, naisip ko lang, if Shaq and Kobe stayed together, they would have never traded for Pau Gasol. That trade would have never happened. Kasi walang
Which is
pressure.
fine with me. I mean, Shaq is
No, no.
Shaq though.
But
What happens with Mark?
Mark would have been with LA right now.
Yes.
he would still be Big Spain, but he'd be like learning from Shaq.
Yes.
Which would have been better, I think.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
Diba?
they have caught up with each other ba? I mean, how long? When was the Shaq's last year, and when did Mark Gasol come? to
Shaq
the
was
league?
traded after the 2004 finals.
No, but he was in the league.
Until
Oh, yeah,
2011.
yeah, he was there.
Until
How about
2011.
that?
Nag-abot sila.
Habit sila.
Kailan
Wasn't he
ba-
an MVP candidate pa nga that year? When
He was an
the Heat?
MVP candidate in 06.
Yun,
06,
exactly.
06,
Miami.
06.
Yeah.
When was the Pau Gasol trade?
2007.
Seven.
Which means Mark Gasol was drafted 2006 or 7.
No, sorry.
No.
Mark Gasol was drafted 07. That trade
07.
happened 08. Feb 08.
There you go. See, magkakaabutan yan.
What?
Shaq played with Phoenix 09, I remember.
Yeah. Kasi yung debut ni Shaq as a Sun was against Kobe and Pau, I believe, at Phoenix.
Yes, tama.
No, that 2008 trade deadline, ang daming mga superstars na nag-change ng teams eh. Jason Kidd got traded that offseason. That trade deadline. Pau Gasol. Shaq also got traded that trade deadline. I believe Sean Marion also got traded during that 08 deadline.
Yung ba yung Marion for Jermaine?
Toronto
Yeah.
ata.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He went to
Samana.
Toronto in that
Samana.
trade deadline. So the 2008 trade deadline talaga was a big game changer, and it all stemmed from the 2007 offseason ng Celtics when they formed that big three of Pierce, Allen, and Garnett.
Okay,
Yeah,
go,
that's
going
it.
back to that summer, what if GetGarnett.com, which was a website I visited at least 3 times a day back then, what if that shit worked and Kevin Garnett actually, said, you know what, yeah, I'll go to LA, trade Bynum and Lamar Odom for me.
Celtics would have never won the title.
Yep.
And we would have seen Kobe,
Kobe and
Garnett.
Garnett in their
In their
oh my
prime,
God, man.
man.
Ito pa mas maganda. We would have seen more Garnett-Duncan matchups kasi West na sila ulit
Western.
pareho. And they would have been both talagang, they would have aged gracefully,
I love Chauncey Billups. He's Mr. Big Shot, but then it's because of him apparently why KG picked Boston over LA. I can't ever forgive him for that. Because I mean, Kobe fan or not, I'm sure everyone would have wanted to see a Kobe Garnett.
Yeah,
duo.
yeah.
Dude.
During that time, it was crazy.
No, I mean, during that time, the Spurs were also they still are very dominant. But then could you imagine Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan against Garnett and Kobe? Dude, that's like instant rivalry classic every time.
Garnett and Kobe would have been the NBA's biggest heels, for sure.
Diba?
Yes.
Sobrang kontrabida sila.
Sorry,
Everybody would hate them.
Diba? The Spurs are always like that team that everyone just loves.
Yes.
Ang ganda nun.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you, sorry to
No,
divert
go,
a little
go.
bit. I wanted to ask if, there was a year that Kobe was dealing with trade rumors with Detroit. What if that actually pushed through?
Trade rumors to
we-
Detroit?
Hindi ba
With-
Chicago?
Chicago.
Kay Lou Waldeck.
No,
Yeah.
Detroit.
Detroit din eh. With sina Rip Hamilton.
Mm.
That- It was the whole package, technically rigging their whole starting
Yeah.
For Kobe.
starting
For Kobe.
roster for Kobe. I mean, would that have sat well with you?
With me, to be honest with you, I think it would have never happened just because Kobe wouldn't have played for a small market team. Because, he has that trade clause in it.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I guess, who the hell would have been there? Just Ben Wallace and Kobe?
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
And Chauncey.
Chauncey would have still been there.
Yeah,
would've
so
still been
basically,
there, yeah.
Rip,
TheShawns.
and
I don't know if
maybe Rashid for
Dude,
goal.
ang lakas nun, man. Chauncey and Kobe, and then put
Ben.
whoever the fuck there na. Who was Amir Johnson?
No,
there
Darko!
already? Oh, Darko. I think Kobe's one of those players kasi, and I'm sure everyone would agree to this. One of those players like, I don't know, like the T-Max or the Iversons or whoever. Na if you put them in whatever team, gagawa yung team na yun eh.
Yep.
What if Darko Milicic was not selected ahead of Carmelo Anthony?
Sobrang wild ng Pistons.
Sobrang wild, bro.
Sobrang wild. Ang daya niya.
Daya.
Do you think Rasheed Wallace would have ended up as a Piston?
Oh, fuck no.
No.
Fuck
Oh,
no.
diba?
I love that 04 title team, but I think that wouldn't have happened din kapag si
Kasi got
Carmelo
Melo.
yung draft nila.
Yeah.
But
Kasi
who
they
would
would
have been their power forward? Amir Johnson? Was
Wala
he
pa si
there?
Amir.
Wala
si
pa
Amir
Amir.
nun.
Amir got drafted 05.
05 din.
2 years after pa.
Power forward din nun.
Corliss Williamson.
Baka
You
Romeo
heard
Core.
the
No, that's Jerome.
So, Jerome, sorry.
They had both. They had both.
Both, yeah.
They had Mehmet Okur
Core
and Corliss
Corliss
Williamson.
Pucha, Mehmet Okur,
Yeah.
no?
Yun, nakalimut na.
Yun yung
The
contract.
original, the original Pero Antis!
Yeah, dude, Memo was drafted a year before sina Darko
Ah,
lang.
yes.
Right, right. So yeah, they would have brought along Memo and Carmelo, which means na they wouldn't have been in the running for a championship.
If
Kasi dalawang rookies
Rasheed Wallace wasn't on that team, their power forward would have been either Eldon Campbell,
Yeah.
Derek Coleman,
For all these...
Antonio McDice.
Ah,
Oh shit, they had
Nice.
nice that year.
Yeah, nice. Yun pala eh.
That's it.
Kasi Rashid would be in Atlanta na.
Okay,
Oh,
stuck in Atlanta.
Stuck in
man.
Atlanta!
Bodo lang.
Tana kawawa si Rashid. That one game he played with Atlanta.
He chucked everything, man.
Yeah.
Ito, I don't know if you guys would have. I don't know if you guys caught this ESPN special about. Kasi last year, 2013 was the 10-year anniversary of the 2003 draft class, and there was this special about, well, obviously the draft class, and they had the Miami pick on Spotlight because apparently, Pat Riley was actually picking between Dwayne Wade and Chris Kaman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because Pat Riley is a big proponent of the big man. I mean, we've seen that in New York, we've seen that in LA.
Okay.
So, and Chris Kaman, in his defense, naman, in college, he
Yeah,
was just
pretty
unstoppable.
good,
diba?
One-time All-Star.
And Dwayne Wade had his knee problems ever since.
Yeah.
So apparently, actually before that, the guy he actually really wanted was Chris Bosh. But Chris Bosh was drafted in front of the Miami pick,
yeah.
number 4th pick
Gone
overall.
already by then.
So he had to call Tim Glover from
Yeah.
Attack
Yeah.
Athletics in
Yes,
Chicago.
Tim
And
Grover.
Basically
Tim
Jordan.
Grover.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Grover. Tim
And he was
Grover.
like, dude, I'm having a hard time deciding between Chris Kaman and Dwayne Wade. Like, who do I pick? And he said, I mean, if you trust me enough, Tim Grover said this, if you trust me enough, Dwayne Wade is a once-in-a-generation talent. And then that was it. Drafted Dwayne Wade over Chris Kaman, and the league was forever changed. Because then Dwayne Wade would have been a Clipper.
Oh,
Think
oh
about
my
that.
and at the time, hindi pa sira yung curse of the Clippers. Right?
Kobe-
Injury luck and all that.
Kobe
Kobe
against Dwayne Wade 4 times a year.
La La
Think
Land.
about that.
Then again, diba, they had those rumors and that Kobe wanted to sign with the Clippers. So imagine Dwayne Wade on the Clippers and
With
imagine
Kobe.
those rumors. Kobe actually contemplating just jumping ship to the Clippers to play alongside Dwayne Wade. Could that have worked?
I think so. I mean, we've seen dual scoring guards that played well in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys remember the Wizards before with Gilbert Arenas
And Larry Hughes.
Larry Hughes.
That worked.
How about the Splash Brothers from
Splash
right now?
Brothers
They're
right
working
now? I think that would have worked. I mean, especially since right now we could see that Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant developed a really good friendship,
Yeah.
and they aren't even on the same team.
They're actually both very cerebral players. So they
Also-
also give and take. I think the only reason why Kobe's been chucking a lot of shots, to his defense, it's not because he's used to playing that.
He needs-
It's not only that he's used to playing that way. It's because there's no actually another player who's actually on the same level. As
Swaggy.
he- Well, okay, fine. Maybe that's why he put he passed the ball to Swaggy from time to
From
time.
time
But
to time.
usually he'd for because nobody can.
Hindi,
Kailangan niya
niya ng-
tumira.
Yeah,
Kailangan wala sidekick eh.
Kailangan niya ng guy na same level of competitiveness.
Eh,
No,
exact-
you know what? Actually, that's true because during the years that the Lakers had Caron Butler and Lamar Odom and those guys, he actually trusted those guys.
Yeah,
Especially Caron Butler. He loved Caron
Yeah.
Butler, diba? He almost lost his mind as well as most of the Laker fans.
Karan for
when
Kwame.
when the Lakers traded Karan
Karan
for
for
Kwame Brown.
Kwame.
What the?
Diba?
Well, since we mentioned earlier about Dwayne Wade and that draft class of 2003, obviously the draft class that you'd like to revisit is the Durant and Oden. What
Oh,
if?
shit.
No, I mean if Durant was drafted by Portland, I'm not so sure he would have blossomed the way he is today because he would be sharing time with Brandon Roy. And
Yeah, but he's sharing time with Russell
Russell
Westbrook.
Yeah. And tsaka, imagine a Portland lineup with healthy Brandon Roy, young LaMarcus Aldridge, and Kevin Durant.
Nah.
who was the
Grabe
center
yun.
that time?
It doesn't matter. They can
Go
have
up
Bobby
Prisbilla.
Brown if they
Go up
wanted
Joel
to.
Prisbilla, yeah.
Yeah.
Pero
Magilla!
Prisbilla was serviceable.
Yeah.
Like, don't knock on Prisbilla.
No,
don't
3
knock
blocks
on
a
it.
game?
Yeah.
Sobrang wild nun. Wild nun, sobra.
Eto, 2007, balik tayo sa year na yun. What if Amari Stoudemire and Boris Diaw never left the bench? Spurs and Suns, Western Conference Finals.
Away.
Suns finals.
You know, when Robert
Why?
Horry did
Parang-
that hip check kay Steve
Like
Nash.
I said, they lost the game momentum. The series momentum,
Series
diba?
momentum.
Yeah.
They were up eh.
3-1, diba?
3-1 eh.
3-1
3-1 eh.
3-1 yun.
3-1 yun eh. Diba? Phoenix was up.
Tapos
Then they
nangyari
lost
yun.
that one.
And they never recovered.
They lost then at home. They lost they were at home eh.
Oh, at
diba?
home yun, yeah. 3-1 eh. So 5th game, home nila.
Home nila.
Ah.
And then they went to the Tama ba? Tama.
See, yun yung sinasabi ko. Like, we talked about this emotional, I guess, knee-jerk reaction from the start of the show na parang, they just left the bench eh. Like, so, who are they to judge if that would have caused more trouble? What if they left the bench to stop the fight? Alam mo yun, parang,
Exactly.
Okay.
It's-
No, it's a
Dapat
valid
fines
point.
lang eh. Dapat fines lang.
diba?
Yeah.
Kasi you would have,
Sobrang
diba, what if,
crucial.
I mean, Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire, like, big
Bench
bodies.
press.
They could have easily stopped whatever rumbling was going on there. Kasi sayang eh.
And Boris isn't a fighter. Like, he's a laid-back guy. If you
Yeah.
read yung profile ni Jonathan Abrams on
yup.
Boris Diaw, he's one of the most chill guys in the
Exactly.
NBA. Pero imagine this. Remember, 2007, the Spurs made the finals. Sino kalaban nila? The Cavs.
Cavs.
They swept the Cavs. Dude, I think if the Phoenix Suns made it to the finals, they
Oh.
would have won the championship from the
Sayang.
Cavs.
Nash should
Sayang.
have gotten the ring.
Sayang.
That game when Boris Diaw and Amari Stoudemire got benched, the ones who replacement was Kurt Thomas and Sean Marion as the power forward and the center tandem. So obviously, parang
Ang laking
depleted
drop-off
yung laki ng drop-off, depleted pa yung bench and whatsoever. They couldn't win that game.
Sayang, no?
Sayang, sayang.
I mean, Sean Marion was one of the stars pa rin naman of that
Yeah.
team. Pero mas sanay pa sila at the time playing Sean at the 3 and having Amari at the 4. I just can't remember who started at the 3. I think it was Raja Bell or somebody.
Actually,
who
kung
took the
minsan,
spot.
They were
kinakuha
still-
nila si Sean.
Oh,
They
minsan
go
lang.
Amari, Sean, Curich and Joe Johnson.
yeah,
Or
Joe
was
No,
that
wala na si Johnson. Atlanta na siya.
Raja.
Curich and Raja.
Raja.
And then Steve Nash.
Oh, Steve Nash. Then
Wait,
the blur of the bench.
Leandro!
Yeah, they still had Barbosa on that
The
team.
blur
so sayang.
and Boris of the bench.
Yeah.
Lakas na yun.
Tapos yun na yun. Yun na yung
That's
lineup
it.
nila.
A lot of those guys never won championships except for Boris Diaw, who eventually found his way
boy!
to San Antonio. Diba?
Oh, no. Matrix also won.
Oh yeah,
with
Matrix
Yeah,
won
Dallas.
Dallas. No, that's right. So sayang, that 2007 Suns team, diba? It could have,
Sayang.
and if they'd
Looking
won a
back.
championship, it would have legitimized D'Antoni and his 7 seconds or less philosophy.
Ito pa,
That's a
with
big
that
what
Phoenix
if,
Suns team, the only reason why they why they signed Steve Nash was because Kobe rejected their offer. Remember that offseason? Because Kobe
Yeah.
has great respect for Mike D'Antoni. Remember the
Oh,
reason?
that's right. Oh,
the
nice.
reason why Kobe's jersey number is 8 is because of Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni's jersey number in the Italian league back
Was
when Kobe was
143.
growing up there was 8.
Eight.
And
That's
idol
why
nga ni si
Kobe.
D'Antoni.
Yeah. So he could have easily signed there. Kobe would have been a Phoenix Sun, and Steve Nash probably would have been a Mav still. I don't
Maybe
know, diba?
Mavs. Or
See,
Toronto.
Or Toronto. Dude,
Yeah.
Canada's own, diba?
Yeah.
See, it all happened when Kobe said, "Nope, I'm gonna stay here."
Pero if let's assume lang that Kobe goes to Phoenix and plays for Mike D'Antoni, I think we would have gotten what we just got last year or 2 years ago, like ahead. Alam mo yun? Parang it never worked out Mike D'Antoni and Kobe Bryant.
Pero
we
prime
we know
Kobe
that
yun,
now.
Prime Kobe.
Prime Kobe yun eh.
Kasi actually,
That's the 81-point scoring Kobe, pare. In a 7 seconds or less offense.
Kakakalbo Kobe pa lang.
Kakakalbo pa lang, diba? Kakarip pa lang.
Wow, shit, we went there.
Kakari pala.
Wow, we went there.
De, pero alam mo, I'm a Kobe fan. Dude, I don't think he raped that girl. I mean, I'm sorry, but he's Kobe Bryant, man. Sino
Why
man?
would he need
Maybe Kobe was the one who got raped.
No, you know what? You make a very good point because why would Kobe need that? I think Bill Cosby needed that more.
Exactly. Alright, we're going to that territory now.
Let's stop.
Alright.
Rape's not cool. Let's make that clear. Rape is not cool.
You don't condone
No, we
that.
don't
Yes.
condone rape. It's not cool. We're sorry.
Rape sucks. Okay, so back to what ifs.
Yeah, back to what ifs. Ano pa bang mga what ifs natin?
Actually, madami pa because like in the draft, ako, speaking as a Sixer fan, pucha, ang dami naming flops sa draft, bro. Like, drafting Sean Bradley over Penny Hardaway, yun pa lang, parang, ang sarap sampalin ng pagmumukha ng mga ownership natin.
Or more recently, when David Kahn selected Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio
Bam.
before Steph Curry.
Bam.
You know it.
Dude, Ricky Rubio and Steph
And then
Curry.
trading Ty Lawson away,
For
man.
nothing.
Yeah, for nothing.
They kept Johnny Flynn.
Johnny
Yeah, you get
Flynn,
that.
man, you got 3 chances to do it. You missed all of them.
And then that Minnesota team also ended up selecting Rashad McCants.
Oo, siya
Ah.
pa. The PBA import.
Yeah, PBA import.
Di ba? Pucha, ano nga eh.
Flop
Memphis.
He flopped here.
They picked Wesley Johnson over
Johnson. Di ba?
Boogie,
Marcus
man!
Cousins, Boogie.
Oh my
Ang dami
God.
nilang ginawa nung draft na yun. Not only Boogie, even si Greg Monroe and Paul George, bro.
Yeah.
Diba?
Dami namang miss na.
But dude, Memphis then, 2009 draft, drafting Hasim
Thabit.
Thabit. Diba? Over the
Yeah,
likes
yes.
of Harden, Tyreek.
Kasi at the time, they
Rubio.
needed another big guy. I think Zebo wasn't with the Grizzlies
Yeah, wala
pa at the
pa.
time.
Oh,
Clippers
wala
pa siya nun, di
Clippers
ba?
pa siya nun.
Who were the bigs that time?
Si Gasol, tsaka si...
Mark
Stromel pa ba
Strom-
yun?
or Pau?
Stroman
Pau and
bata.
Stroman.
No, Stroman had left na by then.
Wala nang Pau na, nag-champion si
Lorenzen?
Pau.
No, hindi rin eh.
No, Lorenzen Wright was
Lorenzen
about
Wright.
to die that time.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Rest in peace.
See, that's the thing. We don't remember. Like, I just remember Mark Gasol being the sole big guy in the
Oh.
Grizzlies at the time. So they kind of needed someone like Thabit.
But
to-
still, Thabit sucked. I remember clearly
Si
the
Blair.
one Blair, yeah, was just owning
Nakatakla niya
him.
pababa.
Was it the Darko Milicic with the Grizzlies?
He was with the
Tama,
Grizzlies. I just don't remember when.
One.
Because I remember that one game he had with the Rockets when he tore off his jersey. Pala Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like right down the middle. That was first half pa yun. So no halftime, they had to fucking make a new jersey right then and there for him.
Baka nga Darko yun. Kasi I remember him sa Minnesota mga 010, 09.
Yeah.
Pare, guys! Hakim Warwick!
Yeah, tama.
They had
Hakim,
First round
pare!
pick na rin. Tama.
Hakim Warwick!
Replacement is Romel.
And
Tama.
Pau Gasol.
And Pau, no, Mark Gasol.
Marc Gasol. Yeah, it was starting pata niya eh. Hakim. Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at the roster right now and I can see nga why they wouldn't draft a guard. Kasi they had Conley, OJ,
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Kay Lowry.
Wala?
Wala.
I
Ay,
think
pero
that's it.
tama, Kyle
Kyle
Lowry.
Lowry.
Yeah.
And the dakilang idol himself, the cherry popper of the Memphis Grizzlies, Marco Yarich.
Oh!
Yeah.
Adriana.
Mr.
Adriana
Adriana
Lima
Lima.
waited for marriage.
Or the former Mr. Adriana Lima.
But still, siya pa rin, pare.
Siya pa rin.
It's like America allegedly getting to the moon. Sila pa yung unang ng flag doon. Adriana Lima, Marco Yarich pa rin, pare. Dakilang idol yan.
Ito. What if Tony Parker never screwed with Brent Barry's wife?
Pucha. Wala, okay lang.
Okay
Actually, ganun pa rin.
Sayang, I really
Oh,
love
so
that.
we're going to Eva Longoria.
I
Desperate
totally
Housewives.
I totally ship Tony Parker and Eva Longoria. I love that couple. And parang it just really blew my mind na tangina he cheated on Eva fucking Longoria with Brent Barry's wife.
Actually, when that happened, ginugol ko kagad yung asawa ni Brent.
Ah.
Pero
Ako
maganda
din.
naman.
Pero maganda naman.
Maganda naman.
But
Pwede
I would
naman.
still take Eva Longoria over Brent Barry's wife.
Parang di natin alam, parang baka gone girl yan.
Oh, baka sa lang yun.
Diba? Baka
Delikado
gone
na.
girl- Baka gone girl si Eva
Man,
Longoria.
crazy girl, man.
Shit, man.
Psychopath.
I'm pleasantly surprised though that the Spurs was they were able to keep their
Core
team together,
impact.
their chemistry together despite that shit.
No,
Kasi ano yun eh, bro code yun eh, pare. That's messed up. You don't
Actually,
do
so
that.
Did they win the championship that year? Was that on a...
No, yun yung time na medyo drought na ulit yung Spurs eh. So that was between 08 and yung current run nila.
I think nga even if they even if they got Jason Kidd, for example, during that
2003.
that free agent period, I think it would have worked smoothly pa rin eh.
Wait, the Spurs almost got Jason
Yeah,
Kidd.
Yeah, they
2003.
offered him.
Who?
They were pursuing him in free agency.
Yeah.
Diba Spurs and Nets were in the finals. While
Yeah.
that was going on, the big storyline was, what if next year Kidd was on the other side?
Kidd was a free agent after
Yun yung
that.
year na hinabol ng Spurs si Jermaine Prisikit.
And that's why Tony Parker was so pissed. He was so pissed that the team would dare pursue someone outside of Tony Parker. And that's what pushed him to be a monster over the next few years, leading to that 2007 Finals MVP run.
Dude, but
Uy,
Jason
Iggy.
Kidd, yeah. Jason Kidd over
Iggy!
Jason Kidd in that Spurs setting. Medyo kinikilubutan
Man,
ako, pare.
Jason Kidd and TD,
TD.
in that offense. Oh, my
Oh my
God.
God, dude.
No, and they weren't trading anyone because he free agent.
Free agent
That's
kasi.
Parker off the
Parker
bench.
off
On
the
the
bench,
bench.
diba?
Manu off the bench.
Yeah.
Manu off
Pero ang problem was the Spurs at the time didn't have any athletic wings or athletic fours.
Dude, I'm sorry, but si Jason Kidd made Kerry Kittles and Lucius Harris relevant, pare. I'm pretty sure kahit
Kaya-
sino, man.
Kahit sino.
Kaya hanga-hanga ako kay Jason Kidd, bro, eh. Kasi, as in, kahit sino, eh. Ginagawa niyang relevant, bro. Like,
Got checks for Kmart, for RJF. You know, they cashed in with its.
gosh,
with
dude, Lucius Harris!
Lucius Harris.
Nasaan na yun? The original masked man, dude.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Diba?
Before
Yeah.
before Rip made it cool, Lucius Harris, diba? Siya yung
Crazy.
nagpauso ng mask.
That's another trade then, no? What if it never happened? Rip Hamilton for Jerry Stackhouse. Jerry
Oh,
Stackhouse
yeah.
would have
Would
still
stay.
been a Piston.
Okay.
The Pistons never would have won.
Pistons would have never won. The Lakers would have had a 4-peat.
How about
Pwede.
speaking of trades that happened? What about the trades that didn't happen, and that vetoed Chris Paul
Good one,
trade?
good one.
You know, I mean, right now we would have been, transitioning to the next era of the Lakers. Chris Paul, Kobe. You still got.
Maybe
Well,
Gasol would
I
still
think
be
they
there.
would have kept Gasol if was there.
Yeah.
Chris Paul was there.
Kailangan
No,
sila
no,
solve.
no, no.
Ah,
Gasol
they
was being
traded.
offered.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
final.
yeah.
But
Rockets.
if
Dwight pala!
if Dwight
Dwight.
and if Dwight and Chris Paul met, that would be
Holy
Lob
cow.
City, man.
Lob City.
Lob
Holy cow.
City.
Kawawa si Blake Griffin.
Because look at what happened. To digress a little bit, Jameer is like Tyson Chan ooping here and there. I mean, we're the new Lob City, Dunk City right now.
May problem dyan. Dwight, Kobe, and Chris Paul, none of them would relent. Lahat sila mga max salary guys eh. So, assuming that Kobe already had Chris Paul on the Lakers, Dwight Howard never would have been able to trade his way to the Lakers.
Baka Nets si
It
Dwight
would
Howard.
not have
na yun.
happened.
Nets na yun.
For
no,
sure.
no, because wasn't that wasn't that like the next step if the Chris? Because I remember they actually were able to free up space with that trade. Because they were able to let
free
go
up
of the
flexibility.
Yeah, they were able to let go of the contracts of
Tapos
Lamar
total,
Odom.
kung Bynum naman bibigay mo.
Yeah, they were able to let go of the contracts of Lamar Odom and
Pau
Pau
Gasol.
Gasol in that trade.
Tama. Yeah, they were clearing space.
Yeah, si Pau Gasol was going to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, he
and
was,
Lamar
he was.
Odom yung Hornets.
Hornets.
Yeah.
And then they would have given up Bynum's contract. Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
And then we would have had
Shit.
that crazy ass Big Three against the Miami Heat Big Three.
You know, we never had
Pwede.
Kobe and LeBron in the finals.
Nobody.
It's never happened.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Sayang.
Sayang, as much as I dislike both guys, I'm sorry, let me put it out there. I dislike Kobe and LeBron, but that's my thing. It would have been nice to see.
Oh, kasi that could have easily been the passing of the torch. I mean, we saw it with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. When they met in the
Right,
finals.
91.
Like, bam! Passing of the torch.
Sayang nga.
But
Could've been.
why didn't the Lakers get past?
See, Mike never passed the torch kasi.
No. In 2007, but who did they lose against?
Who,
Who
the
they
Lakers?
made-
I don't think they made the playoffs that year. No, they did.
No,
they,
they
lost,
did.
they lost to the
First
round,
Suns.
Yeah.
Okay,
They lost to the Suns, and
Kaya
that
yun
was
yung sayang.
that was the press conference when Kobe was saying he wanted to be traded. Yun. Kasi yung small forward na naglalaro for the Lakers was Jimmy Jackson pa.
And they had Smush Parker on
Smush
that
Parker,
team,
yeah.
starting at point guard. And that led to yung Celtics Big Three and then the Gasol trade.
And then
That's
the
how the
Gasol
Lakers
trade.
went back to the finals.
24 Kobe yun eh.
Oh,
That was his
yeah.
first 24.
Yun na yun eh.
Yeah.
Yun na yung lolo Kobe na.
On a
See,
mission.
ang daming what if trades talaga that could have changed the the
What
league.
if Tim Duncan went to Orlando summer of 2000?
Yeah, with
Grant
with
Hill.
Grant Hill.
And
And T-Mac!
It's another
Oh
big
my
what if.
God.
Holy shit.
Lakas
Crazy,
crazy
man.
yun.
Holy crap!
May Mike Miller pa no, may Pat Garrett.
Just
lakas nila.
obviously everything right now is in hindsight. Eh.
Yeah.
So parang when you think about it, is you're assuming that the things that happened actually still happen even if you change a little bit of the past.
Pero hindi, kasi one big change, ripple effect yan eh.
Oh,
You
lahat
see
Ripple
that
effect
iba
to
sa-
yan.
everyone, man.
Pero
Diba?
sabihin ko lang ngayon, if
Dito
the
Interstellar.
Spurs,
Fifth dimension.
if the Spurs let Tim Duncan go to the Magic that year, wala, sure ball ang Magic sa East every year. Kasi during those times, most of the
Wala.
big men were in the West.
That's right.
Si Jermaine lang sa East dati.
Jermaine lang.
And the
Actually,
East got by with
paangat pa
guards.
lang si Jermaine
Oh,
nun
paangat
eh.
pa siya.
Kaka most improved player pa lang yun eh.
The year
diba?
after.
And the East just got by with guards like Allen Iverson, Vince
Baron
Carter,
Davis.
Ray Allen.
Diba?
Yeah, so yeah, it would have
He would
been
have dominated the Eastern Conference.
the same way he
Wait,
dominated
when
the West.
when was Duncan a free agent?
2000. That was the only
Oh,
time that he
shit.
was actually a free agent.
Can you imagine that? Orlando against LA, Shaq
finals.
against TD,
The T-Mac versus
Kobe.
Oh my God!
Who was their coach back then?
Doc Rivers.
Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
Who Chan?
Yung first team.
His first run as a
First
head
run,
coach.
But he got, eventually, what did Doc Rivers deal with? Pat Garrity.
Yeah.
Garrity.
Pat
Actually,
Garrity
you know what?
ended up being a
Darren Armstrong.
stockbroker in Wall
Oh.
Street. He's now a
Actually, I would have been
stockbroker.
happy with that kasi, diba, the Orlando Magic got screwed with Shaq leaving.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, they get
Got what?
Tim Duncan.
I thought
naman.
Tim Duncan.
Diba? Okay rin yun. Actually,
Okay.
it's a
It's
good...
not a
good
bad
trade-off.
plus.
Sayang. See,
And-
a lot of all these what ifs.
See, that's why it's fun to talk about what ifs eh.
And
Especially if
we can
you're
go
a
on.
fan. Kasi you get this like giggity feeling eh. Diba na parang, oo nga no, what if?
It's
man?
kikiligin ka, yeah. Like you said, kikiligin ka, and like we can go on and spend the whole day.
I could spend the whole day actually doing what ifs, man.
But yeah, what are your what ifs? If you have any what ifs that just entered your mind, just hearing us mark out for these what ifs, let us know. You can tweet us at the recess table. We're open to just talking to you on Twitter. Give us consequences, by the way, because right now we're not doing pick and troll, not for this episode. Basically, because we need new stuff. Come on, you need to help us out. And you have to give us feedback. Like, let us know what you think about the things we talk about and the podcast. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Stan947 on Twitter.
This at J Limberlake.
I am at Dustin Dust.
I'm at Arellano Ton. Man, we could have had Penny Hardaway instead of Sean Bradley.
Let it go, bro. Let it go.
Yeah.
Para Frozen. Let it go.
Let it go.
Jesus Christ,
Let it go.
Baka pwede yung there, no? Next time. Someone sing the whole fucking song. Elsa and ano. Diba, I would save that for another
Yeah,
time.
let's do it.
Pwede.
Sadista ang pucha.
So just hit us up and let's talk what ifs on Twitter and on social media. We gotta thank you for catching another episode of the Recess Table and for grabbing a chair.